name is Chris Ibar. My title here at Roger West is Chief Technology Officer, amongst a few others. For the most part, I am a developer, and so my role at Roger West consists of overseeing the programming and development, sort of the integration of systems that we use for our clients and for ourselves, to create solutions. And that solutions could be websites or mobile apps that we all have experience using. So how do you become a developer? How do you start a career in technology that leads maybe into development or application development, software developments? A lot of these are the same terms. When you hear application development, software development, web development, they're sort of all under the same umbrella. But some of them are more focused. When you say app development, we all know nowadays that someone developing an iPhone app or an Android app, which we all use. When we talk about web development, of course, now we're talking about developing web pages. So how do you get started with developing? And I think that, it's one of the questions that we all have to ask ourselves when we feel the need, the desire to build something. I want to learn web development, I want to learn app development. And you start wondering how am I going to get into that world? Well, first you have to ask yourself, what would you enjoy doing most? Do you want to learn how to develop applications for mobile devices? Do you want to learn to develop web applications that are mostly just websites like Yahoo or AOL or MSNBC or CNN? A lot of these famous websites. And so most times we're unsure because we like doing it all, but a lot of times it's easier to just pick one that we think will be the one that we like the most, because it'll make it easier for us to kind of get into the space. And so one of the things you want to do as while you're in school and focusing mostly on education is you want to try to do the best that you can with the math courses. You don't have to excel, you don't have to be the best at math. Math is an important part of getting into the technology world, and being in that industry and having a job in that industry. But it's not going to be the one thing that defines the type of job that you get. And of course, being great at math is going to help you, but if that's not something you're good at, I would not let that stop you or kill your dreams. Keep going for it. You'll wind up doing as much as your abilities in math will let you do. And so you want to pick app development. And so for school, you want to focus on the sciences if you can, and feel that you're comfortable with it. When you take biology and chemistry, you want to feel comfortable. You want to feel that the subject is fluid. That kind of tells you that you personally have a disposition to, work in that field. And that's very important to doing a job, because when you do a job, you don't want to feel like you're obligated to solve a problem, obligated to do this, or you don't want to feel it's a chore. Feel that it's something that you enjoy doing, not so much something that is being asked of you that you'd rather not do. So think of anything else you enjoy doing today, sports or other activities. If you truly love something, you're going to do it even when you have your free time. So leisurely time, where normally we're reading or playing apps nowadays, you would find yourself either reading a book or reading an article about app development or something like that. These are the types of things that will allow you to kind of show you that you would enjoy that. So having a natural inclination for the sciences and software and apps and that sort of thing, that interest is going to be a key driver, because of course that's the same interest that propels you to develop solutions. So anyone has developing, there's different levels of developers. There's those that do the actual developing, the process of developing. There are others that sort of think about the possible solutions. They're you would call them architects. They sort of build a high-level solution, and then there's others that come after those that actually look at what's been architected, and they start actually making the different components a reality by doing web development or doing software development. So you want to focus on the sciences. You want to feel that you have natural interest in these things, and that you probably work on it and read about it, do it as much as possible without really feeling tired about it. So as you're thinking about pursuing a career in development, software, app, web development, as I said before, this natural desire to work in that field is going to be super important. As you're looking to get internships, perhaps while you're in college or the university, or if you're not doing that, going straight out of high school, some people might decide to do that. um, you want to be open about what you might learn. Technology isn't something that's stagnant. It's not something that you're going to go into school, and there might be something that's available in technology. And I'll give it as an example. Some of the social networks that we've seen, and as you guys are growing up, as we all grow up and get older, we do see that some technologies, like some social networks, and you might think of them as social apps. Some of these sort of become more popular, and then after a year or two, like no one's using them, and there's something else that's more popular. And so the same thing happens with technology. Technology changes, and it helps us evolve, and it sort of shapes how we perceive what the world is doing. Like everyone's doing TikTok or whatever it is they're using. These things are sort of shaped by the technology that the developers use to build them. So if they're easy to build, they'll build more of them, and sort of people start gravitating to what seems to be more fun, or what makes or allows them to do things easily. So you're going to be part of that solution. You're going to be part of that process where you're building these apps, you're building these websites, these solutions, you're architecting these things that people will eventually use. And some of them are going to be more private, where you might be working for a large company, let's just say Microsoft or Twitter or IBM. It might be a company that not many people know about because they deal mostly in computing, but you'll be working on these solutions that not many people will see, and the solutions will be internal. So the solutions might be part of a product. Hospitals use a lot of software for automating what they do for the safety of people, right? So a lot of these things that you might build, no one might see, but you're building the same thing. You're building a quality product. You're using your desire to build it. And as you're going into that space, you always have to be thinking. It's actually very important to always keep an open mind about how you might solve a problem, because it's not always going to be the same thing. Also, you want to keep in mind that the people you work with, for the most part, are also going to have their own perspectives on how to solve things. So there isn't always the right answer. There are always answers that seem most obvious, like, oh, we should have done that, or we should do this. But a lot of times when you're innovating, when you're creating something new, no one's going to have the answer. We're going to find them as we try things out, and it's sort of the process of experimenting. So again, I go back to, if you feel naturally gifted at science, that's going to help you, because you're going to automatically be experimenting in your natural life. So this is something you do at the workforce as well. It's really no different in any job. You're always going to be providing solutions, and when people don't have them, you're innovating them, experimenting as you're doing it, and eventually the things that work out the best are the ones you wind up using, and it becomes, to you and to me, the software that we use today.